Hello dear students, today the topic of our discussion will be environment and ecology. Firstly, let us understand the meaning of environment. So presently as you are seated and looking at this video, try to scan around you and look to find out the things that are present around you, the things that are visible, and there are certain things that are invisible. There are also biotic components and abiotic components. Essentially, environment means the surrounding of a person. See, if you are centered here, sitting on your chair looking at this video, your streaming device will be a part of your environment. You might be having fan, that is a part of your environment. You will be having a lot of bacteria that are present within our body and also in the air around you. Those are also part of your environment. You have air, that is also a part of your environment. So anything and everything that you are surrounded by, that a being is surrounded by, is called as environment. So basically there are two components in environment, that is the biotic component and the other one is the abiotic component. Now don't worry about the terminology, it is very simple. Biotic means everything that is living. All living organisms such as your plants, animals, etc. will come under biotic component. All non-living components will be classified under your abiotic components. So firstly, examples, you have humans, plants, microbes, etc. And abiotic components, you have air surrounding you, you have water, there are pollen in the air, sunlight, all these come under, they might have soil. You see, soil is a contentious topic because if you only take soil, it will be under abiotic because it is a powder left out from rocks. But soil also contains a lot of microorganisms and insects. So soil is the combination of both biotic and abiotic component. These are their examples for biotic and abiotic components. Now we all know humans breathe in oxygen to produce energy. We take in the oxygen present in the air and we synthesize our energy and we leave out carbon dioxide. We exhale carbon dioxide. See, now we see a interaction between biotic and abiotic component. Here humans that are biotic component is in a connection with the air, is related to the air. It is, they are consuming the air. Therefore, there is a clear definite interaction between biotic and abiotic components. Next, the same carbon dioxide, as we know, is used by plants for their energy requirements. That is the process of photosynthesis. So plants are also dependent upon sunlight. Now here we see another interaction between abiotic component, that is the carbon dioxide and sunlight, with a biotic component, that is the plant. So when we study these interlinkages, how one biotic component is related to other abiotic component, or how one biotic component is related to another biotic component. See, we also see a relation between human and plants. There is also an interaction between human and plants. When we exhale carbon dioxide, plants take in this carbon dioxide and again release oxygen. So this is a continuous process. Here we see there is an interaction between biotic component, abiotic component, biotic component to another biotic component. There will also be various scenarios where abiotic components also will interact with each other. So this study of this interaction is what we call ecology. Ecology is simply the study of the interactions going on within an environment. How one biotic component interacts with other biotic components or other abiotic components is called as ecology. So it is a system of studying the interaction, how one is dependent on other, that will be studied under ecology. Now next we have species. We all humans belong to the Homo sapien species. How do we classify one species from other? See, a species is a group of or a population of living organisms that have similar genetic makeup. In the sense, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes in our DNA, and you have 23 pairs, I have 23 pairs. So each and every human has this same, almost similar genetic makeup. It is not exactly the same, it is similar genetic makeup. And this group of species should have the ability to interbreed. Interbreeding is in the sense should have reproductive capabilities. These species within themselves, not intra-species but interspecies. These group of biotic animals or plants or humans should be able to reproduce within their own species, and the result of this reproductive activity should be a fertile offspring. Now what is a fertile offspring? Fertile is in the sense the offsprings produced by the, see now X and Y are interbreeding. The result is Z. They all three are of the same species, and this byproduct, that is the offspring of A and B, should be also able to again reproduce further. So that is the meaning of fertile offsprings. Essentially, the children of the reproductive cycle should also be able to reproduce further, and therefore spread this is how species spread in the environment. This is a basic definition of species. Now there are various types of species. First is keystone species. Now there is, among all plants, animals, etc. included, there are certain species which we classify as keystone. Now why are they so important? Keystone species are essentially the top predators of the cycle. See, you have three. We have producers. Above them we have consumers, in which we have primary, secondary, and the last is tertiary consumers. For example, plants are the producers. Humans, we consume plants for our energy requirements. Therefore, humans become the primary consumers. There are animals that eat other animals. So, secondary consumers are the consumers that do not consume the producer directly. They consume primary consumers. For example, your grass, deer and lion. Here grass is the primary producer, and your deer becomes the primary consumer. It is the deer that goes to the field and eats the grass, and this deer is being hunted by the lions for their energy requirements. So Here lion becomes the secondary consumer, deer becomes the primary consumer, and the plants become the producers. So now most of the keystone species are your tiger, lion. See, there is a certain sense of efficiency in our cycle. There is no animal or any being on this planet that consumes lion and tigers as food. That is because they are at the top level. The chain ends here itself. Above them, there cannot be a transfer of energy. So these lion and tiger are called as keystone species. Now why do we call them as keystone? See, India has taken a lot of effort in conserving the Gir lions. Gir lions, the Asiatic lion, was close to extinction, but due to the efforts of the governments, today we have a sizable population of Asiatic lions and also tigers in our country. Now why does a country trend to protect these top predators? It doesn't seem to make sense, but there is a huge ecological impact of these keystone species. For example, there was in the Pacific Sea, there was a primary top predator called as the Pacific Sea pisaster. When the scientists, they forcibly removed these top predators from that region, the secondary, below them, below lion and tiger, you will have wolf, leopard, etc. These are the below the lion and tiger. When these entire lions and tigers are removed, these animals will cause overgrazing. Now see, if there is no lion and tiger to eat the deer or other grass consuming animals, these animals will completely consume the producers, that is plants, and it will cause a barren wasteland. So these key predators, they are always judicious. They know exactly how much is to be consumed. They take care of the populations that are below them in the food chain. So having a lion and tiger or any keystone species makes sure that the ecosystem functions properly. There is no disaster in the ecosystem. Without lions and tigers, you will have the deer grazing entire tracts of the fields, grass, and therefore causing barren lands and also other various soil hazards. So that is why keystone species are important. Now the next type of species is the flagship. Flagship species are the celebrities of the animal world. We know what are celebrities, right? Popular beings, we call them as celebrities. So these flagship species are, best example is WWF. This is World Wildlife Fund. World Wildlife Fund employs the symbol of panda. Panda is the symbol for WWF. The government of India in various projects employs the picture of elephants and tiger, the Royal Bengal tiger. So the government of India also employs these as celebrities. So these species that are used to promote certain policies or actions, we will call them as flagship species. In simple sense, they are the celebrities of the wildlife. Now next, after this we have something called as indicator species. Now the existence of one species will give you a brief idea of the ecosystem. See, if you go to a place and you find rats moving around. Now when you see rats moving around, you can make a conclusion that the place is dirty. It will indicate to you that the place is not hygienic and it is contaminated. Before when in the summer times, if we see frogs leaping around, you can easily make out that if frogs are leaping around, then it is sure that there will be rainfall. Or if there are a lot of frogs in your vicinity, it means your region historically and in the future will receive a lot of rainfall, because frogs reproduce in the stagnant water. They need puddles of water for their reproduction. So since if there is a sizable population of frogs, it means it has been raining in this area since the past, and it will also continue raining for the foreseeable future. If you have vultures flying around the sky, you go to an area and if you see there are vultures flying around, you can make a guess that there is some dead and decaying matter close by. They are found usually around the where we bury people, where lot of animals end up dying. You will always see in the wild, when animals die out, you see vultures hovering above that area, because vultures they consume dead and decaying matter. That is why you will find vultures over there. So here certain species will indicate the possible scenario of a ecosystem. These are what are called as indicator species. Thank you.